Hi everybody, welcome to my 1950s kitchen, and I'm going to be cooking another Epicure recipe for you today. What we are going to be making is the African sweet potato stew, and I'm going to do the alternate version, which is vegan. So I got everything prepped a bit ahead because it's a stepped process, so I didn't want to waste too much of your time. I'm going to show you this knife quickly and then we'll move on. So this is our ceramic knife from Epicure. And instead of using canned tomatoes, because this calls for canned tomatoes, we have a lot of tomatoes that we're harvesting right now because it's fall, as you can probably tell by my attire. And so I'm just using our potatoes from the garden. Tomatoes from the garden, and I am just going to chop these just as simple as that. It's so easy to do. It goes right through these tomatoes like nothing, and I've just put them all in our little prep bowl here. My prep bowl is overflowing, as you can see, with tomatoes. And then I also already made tomato sauce from a bunch of our tomatoes. So I'm just going to mix the two and do it that way instead of using canned tomatoes. So let's just start off with the beginning of the process. So on the package it says to cube 4 cups or 2 large sweet potatoes. So that's what I've done, and I'm going to dump those into our steamer. And this is our amazing 4-cup prep bowl. I absolutely love this. It comes with a little lid that's one of our silicone lids also. And we're putting this in our large steamer. I'm going to cover this up, make sure my lid is nice and tight, and pop this into the microwave. And let's see on our package if it gives me some time here. It says in the multi-purpose steamer on high for about 6 minutes. So we're going to go 6 minutes like that. Now, the other thing, because I'm doing a vegan version, instead of doing ground chicken, you could do ground chicken. I actually prepared ground chicken in here. But then I decided that it's sweet potato and my husband doesn't really like sweet potatoes. So that means I'm the only one who's going to be eating it, and I love vegan recipes. So I am using 1 can of, rinsed and drained, as you can see, black beans. And I just have them sitting on the counter on a towel so that wouldn't happen, but that's okay. We are also going to use a can of light coconut milk. We're going to be using water, or you can use vegetable broth if you're doing something vegan, and you can use our vegetable broth, which I'll be showing you in a second. It's our vegetable broth spice, so you can mix that with water, and that's what I'll be doing. And then you're supposed to use crunchy natural peanut butter. Unfortunately, I don't have crunchy, so once again I'm going to adapt. I'm going to use a little bit of the smooth peanut butter that I have and some chopped up peanuts. I'm going to make my own crunchy. It's very simple. So while this is cooking, and now that you know what we're going to be doing, I'm going to move us over to the other area so that you can watch me making this on the stove. I'll be right back. Okay, so I've moved us around so that now we're facing the stove here. And I'm just going to put on a little apron. I like to wear my aprons. This was gifted to me by a friend. And for those of you who don't know, my full-time job is a hairdresser. I own a vintage beauty parlor, so my 1950s kitchen goes very well with my taste. And I love what this says. It says, I lost my bobby pins, so. Okay, so let's get our stove turned on here. I'm going to do it on medium heat. So first of all, I have just a cup of water here, and I'm going to use our vegetable broth because I like a little bit more flavor. So for 1 cup of water, you're going to do a teaspoon and a half. I'm just going to do it on the same side because I'm pretty good at that, eyeballing it. So that's that. And we can just stir that up a little bit. We've got our oven going here, our stove top. I always call it my oven, but the oven's the bottom part, isn't it? So here we go. Just gonna stir that up. Okay, so here is my homemade tomato sauce that I was talking about. Just gonna open that up and pour that in. I'm going to take my diced tomatoes that I showed you, and we're going to dump that in. And then my very quick vegetable broth. And I did mine in warm water. I just feel like it opens up the flavors a little bit better. And then we're going to pour in our, I think we're going to do our coconut milk. Hold on one second. Let me make sure before. Yes, we're going to pour in our light coconut milk. A lot of the times I just kind of wing it. I'm going to turn this up to about 7 just to get everything heated up nicely. Get all my containers out of the way. And then I'm going to cut this open. I forgot my scissors. I always forget something. But it is getting better. And we're going to dump in our full pack of seasoning. And I'm just going to show you, if I can, how great that looks. Doesn't that look good? So all that lovely yellow seasoning sitting there is what was in this pack. So this makes it super simple. So we've got everything in here. We are going to cook this up a bit. We're going to cover it for 5 minutes. And then we are going to add our sweet potatoes. So I'm just going to grab a little spoon here. There's a couple things you can use. You can use if you have the Epicure silicone spatula. I love it. You can use just a little wooden spoon. I don't like to use anything that's going to scrape my enamel pot. And I do love using this beautiful enamel pot that I got online for making all kinds of things. From my homemade jams to things like this, stews and soups. It's just the most incredible pot. I don't know how I lived without this pot. I really don't. So I've got this nicely stirred up, and I'm going to bring up the temperature a little bit here just to get it up to a boil. And I just want to see, it says that they had added their ground turkey over medium heat. Then you're going to stir in all the seasonings and all the stuff that we added. And because I'm not using ground turkey, I'm using my black beans. I'm going to add those right now too, so that they pick up a lot of that flavor. I'll just give that a stir. And we're going to bring this up to heat. And then we are going to be adding our sweet potatoes that are done in the microwave. So it says cook for 5 minutes and then stir in your sweet potatoes and a half a cup of natural crunchy peanut butter or alternative. So if you're allergic to peanuts and you don't want to add that in and you want to use wow butter or something like that, amazing, right? Soy butter, the wow butter is amazing. If you haven't tried it, I love it, and I have no nut allergies, and sometimes that's still my choice. So I'm going to let this bring up to a boil, and in the meantime I will put you on pause, and then I'll be right back, and by that time we should be adding in our sweet potatoes. Bring it up to a little simmer, a boil, then I'm going to turn it down to a simmer. I'm going to cover it with my cover. I'm just going to grab it and I'll show you what it looks like. Here is my cover. So I have a really tiny kitchen, so I have some things out there and some things in here. So I'm going to cover it up, and I'll do that for 5 minutes, and then I'll put the sweet potatoes in when I come back with you. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, well, this is taking no time at all to make. I literally had enough time to do that little bit of dishes that I had sitting here, and that's it. And this has already come to a boil. You can see all the nice steam. I'm just going to give it a quick stir so we don't get anything sticking to the bottom or burning. I've turned it right down now. And then I am just going to let this cook for a few more minutes before I add in the peanut butter. So I'm just going to cover this up again. My stove top, I don't know about how your stove is, but every stove is different. And you really need to get accustomed to working on your stove. My stove runs hot. The oven runs hot by about 10 degrees, and this runs really hot too. So for me, probably a 4 on most ovens is like a 2.5. So I've got that turned right down. So while we let that just continue cooking down a tiny bit more, I just wanted to say thank you for following my YouTube channel. And if you'd like to be notified when I have more videos, just click down below on the little bell and make sure you open that bell up and look for the one that has the little jiggly things on the side so that you'll get notified for any videos that I post. And I really appreciate it. Leave me a comment underneath if you love this video, and come and follow me on my Facebook page. It's Epicure's Vintage Wife Happy Life. You can find me there, and I have all kinds of recipes and things going on there too. And when I have time, I do little cooking videos for you guys. So I wanted to also show you the steamer. So this is, I showed you our steamer, but you can see the steam puffing out of here. I don't know if you can see that or not, but that I'm sure you can see. And look at how beautifully those sweet potatoes have come out. And that took literally 6 minutes in the microwave. So one of our things with Epicure, and especially these wonderful little Easy Meals packages, is that you can get your dinner ready from raw to ready in 20 minutes or less. And it's a nut-free facility. It's a Canadian company. There are salt and sugar conscious. A lot of their products, 90% of the products so far, are non-GMO. And of course, we're always working to try and get that up to 100%. I'm just moving that over. Now, my tomatoes were raw, so I may end up cooking this down a little bit longer than if I had used the canned tomatoes, because canned tomatoes have already been sort of stewed down, where these were raw. Now my sauce was already cooked, and again, these are tomatoes that I grew this year with my husband, and I just want to give you a look at how fabulous it smells. Incredible. Look at that, guys. Oh my gosh, it smells incredible. So I am doing the vegan version of the African sweet potato stew. I realize everything is backwards for you guys, or maybe it isn't when I do it this way. A lot of the times it is, but not to worry. I say it out loud so that you'll know what I'm doing. So I am going to now put, oh, you know what? Before I put in my sweet potatoes, what I did was it called for half a cup of crunchy peanut butter, which I didn't have. So I'm doing 1/3 of a cup of smooth natural peanut butter. This is just peanuts. There's no sugar or anything added to this, just peanuts. And this one is the Kraft one. I'm not affiliated with Kraft, but I like to let you guys know what I am doing. And I've used Adams, and I've used all kinds of different ones. So you can even make it at home, super easy. And then I'm going to use 1/4 of a cup of peanuts that are cut up because I didn't have crunchy peanut butter. So there you go. I just made my own crunchy peanut butter, just like that. So simple. All right. And again, you know what, guys? I love to wear my aprons. Aprons are my favorite. I'm starting a little apron collection, and I just want to show you my apron again because this is from my girlfriend, Ange. And we're both hairdressers, and this just got crazy hair, just like I usually have, pink and purple and all kinds of fun colors. And lately I've just been going au naturel thanks to COVID. So oh well, I could do it myself, but you know what? I'm kind of like to do everybody else's hair, and I don't bother with mine because it's very, very thick and it's harder for me to do on my own. And it says I lost my bobby pins, and he looks like he's gone crazy. That's how we all feel nowadays, isn't it? So thank you, Ange. I really love my new apron, and as you can see, I will definitely be wearing it on my videos, and anytime I cook, I like to save my clothes. I wear aprons doing hair also, so that I'm a color technician, so I don't want to get color all over my clothes. So now I'm going to add in it. Okay, so the peanut butter, I'll just tell you right now, it really has changed the fragrance of this stew. It smells incredible. I'm going to tell you guys a little funny story here. I took out what I thought was squash soup that I had made from my freezer today so that I would be able to enjoy that for my lunch. Well, when I got home and it was thawed and I was about to have my lunch, I found out rather quickly that it was not squash soup at all. It was pumpkin. It was the Epicure pumpkin ice cream, which had now been completely thawed and is like liquid sugar. So not having that. So I decided to make this stew and share it with you, and you can see we're pretty much done. If I wanted to stop right now, I could, but like I said, just because my tomatoes were fresh from the garden, I'm just going to cook this down for probably another 5 minutes. And even though I stopped this while we were, while I was cleaning up and stuff like that, I can see my timer right now, and we are at 17 minutes and 25, 26, 27 seconds. And that is our motto, is that it's from raw to ready in 20 minutes or less. We have a beautiful African sweet potato stew. I have made a vegan version. You can make it with anything you want. If you don't like ground chicken and you want to do ground beef or anything, if you want to do any kind of meat, go for it. It would be absolutely delicious. If you don't like black beans and you want to do tofu instead, or you would like to do chickpeas instead, or kidney beans, or a mix of beans, it would be amazing. Absolutely amazing. And you could see that was not very many ingredients. It's ready in no time. You know, this has thickened up to a beautiful consistency already. I'll be done this for sure. We're at 18 minutes right now. And granted, I did have my stuff cut and prepped, but it was literally opening a can of black beans, opening a can of light coconut milk, and then I peeled and cut up a sweet potato, and that was it. Then I poured them all in here and poured this package in here, and we're still not even at 20 minutes, and we're done. So I can't wait to try this. It looks like it's going to be fabulous. I'm really excited that I have lunch after thawing my ice cream, don't you know? But anyway, so thank you again for joining me in my 1950s kitchen. Please like, subscribe, click the little bell, come and follow me on Facebook. Epicure's Vintage Wife, Happy Life. It was so wonderful to see you guys. I'm so glad we had this time together. Thanks for being in my kitchen, everybody. And thanks again, Ange, for this awesome apron. See you later. Bye.